morning, everyone. I am Tanya Maddox, and welcome to Montrose Matters Live. Oh my gosh, we have the Father's Day weekend special episode, and as you can see, we have a full house here. I'm going to introduce our guests in just a second, and especially our cute little one down there. But before we get started talking all about Father's Day, I want you guys to go in and log in, if you're not already logged in, to comment and send your questions about Father's Day, upload photos of your favorite Father's Day photos or memories, and we're going to have some fun and do some giveaways. But before we do that, we have a few announcements and events coming up. On June 20th, that is Sunday, Grace Community Church knows that the way to a man's heart and a father's heart is through their stomach. So they're bringing out food trucks. They're going to have service outside. I understand the band is just going to be awesome and ready to go. So 9:30 on Sunday morning, there's going to be one service at Grace Community Church, and then all the food trucks are going to be out there. And I believe they have a special gift for all the fathers who are showing up on Sunday. And then on the 24th, MEDC is having their annual luncheon. We're so excited to be able to meet in person again. And so if you have not reserved your seat for the MEDC annual luncheon, be sure to go online and do that today, because I believe they're close to selling out. Oh, and Chamber members, Business After Hours is back. This month, it's going to be at Camelot Gardens and Gifts. Did you know the new chamber started? Like, they're meeting in person now.
No, it's great.
Isn't that amazing? And so Camelot Gardens is going to host Business After Hours from 5 o'clock until 7 o'clock p.m. And then I know this is a Father's Day episode, but for all you ladies, on July 2nd, they're doing Ladies FAC. And I'm going to tell you what that acronym stands for. It is Friday Afternoon Cocktails. So every first Friday of the month, all the boss ladies in Montrose will meet out at a restaurant. This month, they're going to be at Ted's out on the back patio. So make sure you come out for that. All right, we've got Tanner Volk and little Porter Volk here. We also have Pastor Carl Leuthauser. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we're going to have some fun with these fathers.
Employees, and we were in a double wide trailer with 4 exam rooms. So that's where we started, behind an elementary school, really focused on taking care of those children. It was a school-based clinic prior to us becoming an FQHC. But very quickly, we realized the community needed a lot more support, a lot more access to healthcare. So in the last 8 years, we've grown to 3 different sites. We have 104 employees now, and we're taking care of about 6,600 unique patients a year.
In Colorado, we're not afraid of rolling up our sleeves and doing what's right. To work hard today so we can enjoy tomorrow. So we can take pride in knowing we gave our best. So at the end of the day, we can all gather at the table and know we grew this together. That's why Alpine Bank is proud to call Colorado home. After all, everything we need is right here. You are Colorado, so are we.
Okay, welcome back to Montrose Matters Live. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited about this. First of all, because I love my dad, and so I wanted to talk to other fathers and find out just what do you enjoy the most? And Pastor Carl, let's start with you. You have a unique family. Well, I just have a weird family, but you have a unique family.
Yeah, I've got 4 girls, and I call it the House of Estrogen. So there's a lot of emotion in my home. So but 3 of them are, my third one just graduated high school. Okay. So I've got 3 adult children and 1 10-year-old. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. And I've worn more tiaras than I ever care to say, and played Pretty Pretty Princess more than I ever want to admit. But we got a lot of girl things in the house. Yeah, but I love it.
It's been fun. Yep. Great. What about you, Tanner? This is, oh my goodness.
Well, this is my first. And
who is that? Is that
this
little
is
Porter?
He's 15 months old now. And
are you enjoying fatherhood?
I am. Every day is a blessing and a challenge.
Well, let's talk about some of the challenges here for a second. And so since you brought it up, what's been the biggest challenge in 15 months?
Well, sometimes it's tough to know exactly what he wants when he can't use his words yet.
Right.
But it's sometimes easy to figure out what he's saying by his body language and where he goes. If he goes to the pantry and wants something.
He's ready for food, right?
Yeah, then he's ready for food. But sometimes it can be challenging, not knowing exactly what he wants and what he's thinking.
You know, I used to tell myself that I have an 8-year-old son, that this too shall pass. And not knowing what they want, there are times when they can't use their words, you still don't know what they really want or what they're really saying. What about you, Pastor Carl?
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good segue to my girls. I mean, they can be complicated sometimes.
No, really?
Yeah. And not knowing what they want and how to respond. And, you know, as a dad, I always want to fix them and I want to like tell them what to do. And so many times they need me just to listen and back off. And so just kind of understanding who they are and where they're at. That's a trick.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, but it's easy for pastors, right?
Yeah,
Everything
right.
comes easy for you all,
yeah.
right?
It's a hazard to be a pastor's kid, I think.
So tell me about one of the challenges that one of your girls went through that you thought, wow, if we can get through this, we can get through just about anything.
I think, you know, every single one of them, when they hit about 11 years old, from 11 to 14, you're like, what on earth is going on? Yeah, so that whole time for me was a challenge. So many emotions, so many changes. And but then they get to be about 16, you're like, wow, I like this kid again. Yeah. Okay. And then they leave right after you start liking them again.
Well, then they'll come back.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Yep.
So, you know, Tanner, as you hear Pastor Carl talk about, you know, they turn 11 and you're like, what's happening? Does that frighten you? I mean, you have, you know, 10 years to go, or 9.5.
No. I'm excited. I think that seeing each chapter of their life will be fulfilling.
Yeah, you know, you make bring up a good point, because every season is different, and I thoroughly enjoy my son right now. I love climbing trees with Preston. He's my buddy. I mean, we play games. We can play Monopoly all night long. That's our thing. And then there were some seasons that were just not so much fun, you know, like potty training. I thought, am I ever going to get past this?
Yeah. Yeah, I had a little bit of that. I mean, we're like, is he ever gonna walk? And then he started walking, and now the next part I'm looking forward to is he ever gonna talk? And
then
soon,
he won't stop.
And soon he'll start talking, and then there'll be something next after that.
So both of you are working dads, and both of you, because I know you both well, are involved dads. So Tanner, honestly, you know, you're a pastry chef at Camp Robber. Your family has owned that for, 22 years now. So you kind of grew up in the business. And Pastor Carl, I mean, you are just on all the time as a pastor. You probably don't get any downtime or time to yourself. How do you balance being a father and doing, you know, enjoying what you do for a living?
Well,
you probably don't balance it yet.
Yeah. Right? We still do all the same things that we did for the most part before we had Porter, and when I get home, we make dinner, and I hang out with my wife, and now I hang out and do that with our son. So
not much has changed other than adding a little person in the mix.
Yeah, but it can be challenging, I admit, to balance work and home life, but I feel like it's far more rewarding after now being a father.
Agreed. What about you, Pastor Carl?
You know, I think any job, ministry especially, it'll take everything that you give. And
that's interesting. It will take everything that you give. I've never looked at work that way.
It's true. Yeah.
I know. I'm like, whoa.
And you're the only
I
one,
learned something today.
You're the only one who can tell it no, right? And so I decided, and I haven't done it perfectly. I mean, sometimes I've failed my kids this way, but I've decided that I'd rather disappoint my congregation than my children. And so, sometimes I have to say no to the kids and everything else, but I'm going to live with those kids the rest of my life. And the congregation, I love the people, and we've been connected a long time. But I'm the only person that could be their dad. There's other people that can be their pastor, So I've decided if I have to make the church a little angry or upset or disappointed to put those girls first, I think it's the right choice. Now, it's easy to say, a little harder to do,
right.
but that's the idea.
That's profound. So, Grace loves fathers. I think Grace Community Church loves parents in general. But the last couple of years, you've really loved on fathers. Tell us what's going on at Grace this Sunday.
Yeah, so we're excited. We had one service over COVID that we really liked because we had to do it differently. And we had an outdoor service last Father's Day where people, because we had to be outside, right? And it was a blast. And we had a couple food trucks with us, and we thought this is the right way to do Father's Day. And so we're going to have an outdoor service at 9:30 on Sunday.
Okay.
And so that's just one service. We're canceling all the other ones. And it's 4 dads. I mean, of course, I'll talk to everyone there, 4 families.
So I can come?
Absolutely. The message will fit you, I promise. And we're going to be talking about fighting the fight that's before you. And then we're going to have, I think, about 8 food trucks that will be there afterwards. We're going to celebrate together and eat. It's all outside. And then we have a little coupon for $5 off for every dad. And so we'll pay for $5 of your meal, whatever you want from any of those food trucks. And yeah, it's going to be a blast.
So, some of the food trucks I understand that are going to be there are barbecue trucks. Really, Carl?
The good stuff.
Yeah,
gosh.
Right. And taco trucks. And then there's ice cream involved or snow
cones. Yeah, right.
All right. Okay. Grace does know the way because I know Travis, my husband, he works nights and he says, I'm getting off early so that we can go to church on Sunday morning. What about you, Tanner? So, you are a pastry chef. We all know that. We all love Tanner Volk's stuff. We've been eating it for years. And you did something very devious this morning. Yeah. Oh, you're guilty. Yep. Trust me.
I am guilty.
Because what I'm looking at here are some amazing manly desserts. Do you want to tell us about those?
Yeah. So right there are some bourbon pecan cinnamon rolls, and I actually cooked the dough a bit on the grill.
What?
Yeah. And then baked them the rest of the way. But you could bake them in your grill as well and give you an excuse to fire up your grill early in the morning.
Is that what makes it manly? Is it the putting it on the grill? Because, real men grill everything, right?
Well,
or is it the bourbon? Or is it the icing? Or is it all of the above?
I think it's a combination of all of the above.
Okay.
And then those are some bourbon glazed apple fritters as well.
Oh my goodness! Did you put those on the grill too?
No, those are just fried.
Oh, okay. Wait a second. Wait. Let me just back up here for a second. If you put it on the grill, it's manly. If it's fried, it's manly. That's all dads are gonna love this.
Yeah. I just thought it would be a fun way to do it. It's something different that I've never done before with cinnamon rolls. So, and
how many men are gonna put cinnamon rolls on the grill now?
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully everyone gives it a shot. I think they like it.
Good. Well, we're going to take a quick commercial break. Be sure to send any questions that you have to Pastor Carl and Tanner. And we're going to keep talking about Father's Day. And in fact, Pastor Carl's going to talk about the ultimate father. We'll be right back.
At the Real Estate Store, we're a group of real estate professionals who share all forms of property brokering in an innovative way. Our expertise and experience makes us the best choice for buyers and sellers. Our brokers are ready to assist you, either in person or virtually. Come visit us in historic downtown Montrose and experience for yourself the difference of our personal, professional property brokers.
believe it. Just like Gigfoot, zero-lag gaming does exist. The real myth now? Slow internet made you lose. So step up your game with Elevate Internet today.
How is it that I have these amazing manly desserts here and I'm still thinking about cheese balls because of that last commercial? I say this every week, but when you have a monkey and eating cheese balls, it makes me smile. It makes me laugh. So we're here with Tanner Volk and Pastor Carl, and we're talking all things Father's Day. But before we get back to this conversation that I love so much, and we lost Porter, as you can see, he wandered off because that's what 15-month-olds do. But just wanted you to know that this show could not be done or produced without the help of our sponsors. So we want to say thank you to Elevate Fiber, to the Real Estate Store, to River Valley Family Health, and to Alpine Bank. Thank you so much for bringing the show to us every single week. So, all right, Father's Day is Sunday. I already have our gift ready for my husband. Preston has picked out 2 items, and he's excited to give gifts now that he can spend his own money on and so forth. But Father's Day is more than trinkets. It's more than or receiving trinkets, right? Do you need another hat? Do you need another pair of shoes or a golf game? So if someone was to give you the ultimate gift, and listen up, Volks and Loithausers, but if they were going to give you the ultimate Father's Day gift, what would it be? Oh, I stumped him, guys. I got it.
Yeah. Yeah. At this point, in my life, I don't really feel like I need much more than what I have, as far as trinkets and none of that stuff really matters. But
I love your attitude, Tanner.
I would love just taking a trip with my family, going out for the day, going camping. Taking our RV somewhere, and
so your love language is the gift of time.
Yeah.
Okay.
And food.
Why am I not surprised by that? I cannot wait. I'm like, Drew, how much time do we have on this show? Because I need to cut into this. What about you, Pastor Carl?
I'm with Tanner on that one. I could always use new tools and things like that, but my daughter, actually, she's a raft guide in Moab, and tomorrow she's taking us out down the river.
Really?
Yeah, so just an experience. That's the best thing I think you could give me.
Okay.
Yep, take me fishing, take me rafting, just something fun together.
So. There is something else when we talk about gifts and so forth, and I know this is close to your heart because Pastor Carl wrote a book recently. Tell us about The Ultimate Father and why you wrote this book.
Yeah, you bet. So, one of the things that I think a father on earth is to do is to show their kids what God is like. And God is the perfect father. And, we don't quite represent him perfectly and well, but he's loving and he's kind and he's caring. And I think God wants to be with us and spend time with us. So that's why I wrote Your First 30 Days with Jesus. And it's kind of an introduction to God and who he is and how we get to him through his son and how we have relationship with him. Because I think what he's about is relationship with us. And so that book kind of helps you get started and then helps you grow once you've come to seek after Jesus and find him, to find out who he is and draw near to him.
Great. And so this book is available online.
Yes.
At My First, or...
Your First 30 Days. Is it my first or your?
Okay,
the first time I've ever had to plug it. I better look. My First 30 Days.
At myfirst30days.com. And you can pick it up at Looney Bean here locally, Sovereign Grace Bookstore, and Camelot Gardens.
Right. Yeah.
All right. So tell me, when you were writing this book, what was your mindset like? Did you want to share just the how God is the ultimate father?
Well, I guess there were kind of two things. And one was when people have an interest in who Jesus is and getting connected with God, I thought, well, I wanted to give them some tools just to help them develop that. And you spend maybe 5-10 minutes a day for 30 days and get in the habit of kind of coming to know him. And then the other thought I had was, if you have a friend who you want to introduce to God, or you think, wow, they're getting started, but they need to go a little bit deeper, you could just hand that book to them and help them go forward. So I just wanted to help people get beyond just the first step and move forward in their journey in their faith walk.
Great. And I think it's probably also good for parents, whether you're a father or a mother and you want to pass this down to your child so that they can get that connection as well. Would that be the case? So I learned something quite interesting about you two. I love Montrose. Montrose is so small, everyone knows everyone else. But did you happen to marry Tanner and Tasha?
We're not married, but yes, I did officiate the ceremony there, so yeah.
Pastor Carl, if you're gonna go and be like that, see, now I'm gonna have to bring up something funny, because we have a little history too.
Yep.
So 2 years ago, you were on this show when we weren't live. And I asked you a question that I tell everyone. I said, what is the craziest thing anyone has said to you when they find out you're a pastor? Do you want to tell us?
Well, I don't know if it's crazy, but people, in fact, you kind of did just a little bit ago. You said, if I knew the pastor was here, I don't know if I put bourbon on there. Not against bourbon.
But it's okay if you knew Tanya was here, right?
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
But people will often, we'll have a great conversation, and then they'll find out I'm a pastor, and they'll always say, oh, did I swear? And then I'm like, I don't know, did I? I'm like, you think I'm worried about that? So people get a little uptight and just like, hey, I'm just same way as you. So,
yeah.
Yep.
So I wish I had a profession that people would get all nervous and uptight and think I was important.
What do you think this is right now?
I'm the one intimidated, okay? I've got like the pastry chef and the pastor. I don't even know what to say at times. We have folks who are really curious about any advice that you would give to new fathers. And in fact, our amazing producer, Drew, from Drew Lowen Productions, is expecting his first child in September. So speaking straight to Drew, what advice would you guys give him? Let's start with you, Tanner.
I would I would always listen to your wife. She knows.
Oh, Gina loves that.
She knows what's best. And you're never gonna know exactly what to do for each situation, but you'll figure it out along the way, and then the next time that situation's presented, you won't have the answer, but you'll have a better understanding of what to do, and
probably how to communicate, with your child.
Yep. But it's an adventure.
I love that word, because you're right. I agree. I know, again, why am I trying to head into Father's Day? It's all about you guys, but it is an adventure.
I think Tanner's right on to that whole idea of seasons. What I often tell young dads is, don't ever tell yourself, well, if my kid is this way now, what are they going to be like when they're 16? I used to always remember thinking, my 8-year-old's crazy. When she turns 17, she's going to, what's going to happen? Mm-hmm. And they're a different person when they turn 17. So don't worry about it. Enjoy the season that you're in. Mm-hmm. And then when you get to the next season, they're going to be completely different. So it doesn't, if they're freaking you out or causing problems when they're little, they could be amazing when they're 15, 16 years old. Mm-hmm. The other thing is to really enjoy those seasons. I was joking about 11-year-old girls being tough, and they are, but it's a sweet season. You only get it once. And so I love what you said there, Tanner, and I think to make the most of each time, not worry about the next one's coming up, is great advice.
Yeah, I love that. I want to talk about something serious, and I think it's important for us to point this out. One of my favorite movies is Courageous. And it's such a great movie about fatherhood. And so if you haven't seen it, you should pick it up or download it. But when at the end of the movie, when one of the characters says, men stand up and take your place, I feel as if we need to continue to lift men up, whether they're parents yet or not, so that they can take their place as great fathers. You're just embarking on fatherhood in the past 15 months. It's obvious you're involved, that you stood up and that you take your place. You've, 4 daughters later, and you're obviously involved, and you've stood up and, continue to take your place. How do we encourage other men to do that, other fathers to do that? What do we need to do?
Well, I think that dads need to understand how essential they are, and not just to provide, which oftentimes guys are ready to do that, but just to be there and to be present and to be available and to be involved. What a powerful influence you have on that little guy right there. And he needs you to be there, and good job doing it. And I think that's what guys need to know is like, you're essential to this family. And for you to be there present emotionally and engaged is huge in who they'll become.
Okay. What do you think, Tanner?
Yeah, I think Pastor Carl put it perfectly.
He makes you nervous too, right?
Yeah.
So it's not just me.
It's you shouldn't be afraid to make a commitment. And I mean, becoming a father or entering a marriage is a big commitment. But it's filled with so much joy and pleasures.
That it outweighs the fear, whatever fear you may have.
And you just kind of have to leap in, and it'll fulfill a big part of your heart with all of the joy that comes from it.
I know your father very well, Bill Vogue. Hey, Bill. And you come from a family with strong parents and a strong father. I did not at all. And when I didn't know my father until I was late in life, and now he's, my best buddy. Hi, Dad. But, so I didn't have any role models. And there are lots of men, women, and so forth who don't, have role models in their families, and they still have stood up and done a great job. Our son Preston is 8 now, and I believe that when my husband chose to stay home and be that stay-at-home parent when Preston was born makes all the difference in how amazing this little man is. And those are fathers that we have to figure out how to show them respect. I try every day to honor him and to let him know how much I appreciate what he's done. And so, any advice on how we can show those fathers some respect would be greatly appreciated. Maybe just saying it, saying thank you, saying you're awesome.
Yeah, just a daily reminder, telling them that you love them, I think, or giving them a hug each day, make them feel that what they're doing is appreciated and acknowledged.
All right, all you wives out there, let's do that. Let's do a daily reminder to our husbands and to the fathers and let them know how much we appreciate them.
I would just remind every dad that you have what it takes. So whether you're if you're a stay-at-home dad, or you're working the oil rig, or you're a pastry dad, or a pastor, they need you. And so you don't have to be anyone else. You don't have to be like me or like Tanner or anyone. Just be who you are and be engaged, and that's what your kid needs.
Okay, so I don't know if I have anything better than what he just said, but it's been a great show. We can't thank our sponsors enough. Elevate Fiber, Alpine Bank, the Real Estate Store, and River Valley Family Health. It's been a great Father's Day. I am waiting to cut into this. So Porter, you come back anytime. Thank you for tuning in. Be sure to check out the book, My First 30 Days, and we'll see you next week.